can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me with a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of angels sweet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, John, go do my will. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Well, you may throw your rock, hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be the Kickstarter for a new series that we plan on doing for the channel, and that is what we're going to be titling Built versus Bought. So the way that the series is going to work is throughout the year there's going to be multiple episodes for all of the guns that we're going to be running through this for you guys, and you're going to be able to see head to head exactly how these two builds perform in comparison to each other. So there are going to be three different ideations, or three different parts of this series, I guess. And there's going to be the carbines, so your shorter guns, as well as your general purpose or Recce style of rifles, and then we are also going to be doing a special purpose rifle version of this series as well. The carbine part of the series is going to be Ollie's 10.3 versus my 11.5. The general purpose is going to be two different 14.5 variants, and the special purpose rifle variant is going to be a 16-inch Mark 12 Mod H built from the factory versus my 18-inch piecemeal build that I put together myself. So the first iteration of this video, and the way this is going to flow, is we're going to run both of these guns through multiple different batteries of tests, compare them head to head to show you guys exactly the performance of the two different guns. The factory option that I've got here is the only one of the series that is 100% built from the factory. The majority of the time we're going to focus mainly on the upper receiver themselves. Reason being is you guys, the majority of the time, are building out your own lower receivers, because a lot of guys like putting different triggers in it. They like to put their specific parts kits in it. They like to run their specific buffer setups. And the upper receiver is something that a lot of the guys that are buying, they're just going to trust the manufacturer to do that. And they're going to buy something directly from the factory. So how we're going to work this is we will talk over each individual build and explain it right before we do the accuracy portion, so you guys can get an idea of exactly what it is that is on the guns and how it is that we've got these set up. And then we move right into an accuracy portion where we will shoot both of these guns with 10 rounds of ball ammunition as well as 10 rounds with match ammunition, both guns using the exact same ammunition. We're going to have a chronograph set next so you can see the differences in velocity that both of these rifles are putting out. And then we will move right into the rail flex test, which is, I know a lot of you guys are wanting to see how this gun performs. The rifle that we've got pitted head to head with this is a very similar setup. It is using the Geissele Mark 4 rail, which is going to be utilizing a very similar setup on it versus how the BCM Raider rail does here, with the Picatinny at the 3.6, 9, and 12, and the continuous 12 up top, where you can hook the bipod to the front, and then it having M-lock back here to keep the rail a little bit more slim. Both of these guns are going to have an ARCA rail attached to the bottom section of it, because both of us shoot off tripods, and these sections also work really well when shooting off of barricades, to giving yourself a little bit more surface area to keep the gun a little bit more flat. So we will perform the rail flex test in the same way that I had performed it before. We will do first a neutral group at 100 yards. We will show you guys exactly where the point of aim, point of impact for the zeroed gun for that given distance is. Keep in mind, both of these guns are zeroed at 50 yards, so 100 yards, the zero is going to be slightly off, but we will try to adjust based off what the zero is. But whenever we actually come up and we annotate the groups, we will note that, say, the gun is shooting an inch high at 100 yards, which is generally what you're going to get with 77s out of a 14.5 with a 50-yard zero. We will annotate how far down the group shifts with the rail flex based off of the point of impact for that first control group. We will do a moderate loading of the bipod. We will just put a little bit of forward pressure on it, and then we will load the bipod a bit more aggressively to give you guys exactly an idea of exactly how well both of these guns perform. From there, we're going to show how the guns are gassed. So both of these guns will get essentially a pseudo ejection pattern test, because I know a lot of you guys like that, and as well as a shootability test. The way the ejection pattern test is going to work is basically just with the M193, which is the hotter of the different ammunitions. We will see exactly where it is. Both of these guns are throwing the brass. We've worn them both unsuppressed, both with flash hiders, and then we will move directly over onto the flat range here from 7 yards, and we were going to run several consecutive bill drills with both of these guns to give you guys both an idea of the speed that you're able to run these guns due to the recoil impulse, as well as the accuracy that you get out and how well we are able to actually control them. From there, we will move on to the long distance range, and we will show you guys exactly how well it is that both of these guns perform. Both myself and Ali are fairly competent shooters working off of props. Both of us have done this a lot, so we are able to realistically maximize what you're able to realistically get out of both of these guns. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's get this thing started. All right, guys, so now we're going to be doing the comparison between the built versus bought builds that we have here. And the way that we're going to do this, we're going to try and make it as close of a one-to-one of comparison as we can. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up doing a series of build drills for this. So how this is going to work, we're going to run 3 different build drills. We're going to annotate the times for each one of the drills, as well as the accuracy on target. The flatter the gun shoots, the faster you're able to actually run a build drill. Both myself and Ali are relatively fast shooters. We've got the splits right around 1.0 to 1.5 time. So we're gonna be doing this at 7 yards. We've got the A zone set up right here on the target itself, and goal is to maintain 100% A zones with both of these hits. Both of us are gonna start with fresh, clean targets, and we're going to score after all 3 build drills are done for both of the shooters. We'll annotate C's as well as D zones if once Ali inevitably gets them outside into the D zone, and kind of give us a scoring as best we can to compare these one-to-one. I know that you can't do everything perfectly, and we're all different shooters, and that's going to be said, but Ali is a pretty similar shooter to me, especially whenever it comes to doing stuff up close. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so how we're gonna do this, it's going to be M193 ball ammunition. So both of us are shooting the exact same ammunition out of the exact same box for this. So it's going to be a one-to-one as far as the ammo is concerned. So what I want you to pay attention to is, 1, the ejection patterns, because I know you guys like that shit, as well as the recoil impulse for the gun itself and how flat it does or does not shoot. Again, once you're running build drills, one of the really good things that these do to show is the shootability of the gun. The tighter the group is, the faster the time. That kind of annotates how little the gun is actually moving, and can realistically show you what the gun is doing without actually having to be aimed in down the sight. So how we're going to work this and to take out as much of the human variable as possible, we're going to start aimed in at the target. As soon as the timer goes off, all we have to do is flick the safety off and then run the build drill. So I'm going to run this 3 times, and Ali, you can just kind of rip it as we go.
All right.
Ready?
Here, stand by.
All right, so there you go. And it looks like I was a little bit left on that one there, but it had 1 C zone. So we'll go ahead and run this again.
All right. Stand by.
Had 2 C zone on that one, and they're just, I think that's a little bit more of my head over bore than anything.
Stand by.
All right, try to tame that one down a little bit better. All right, so as you can see there, nice lightning fast splits. We did not show each one of those, did we, for that? But 1.15 for the time on that last one. That last one was actually the slowest one that we ended up doing. My splits for that one were 1.6, 1.5, 1.7, 1.6, 1.3. So pretty fast splits as well. So we'll go ahead, we'll look at the target. So this was from my first build drill. So When I come up, broke the shots, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the first. The second one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the third one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see when I slowed down a little bit, the group actually tightened up. Also, this is a little bit more me than with height over bore. The reason for the hitting low, I should say. I was aiming right about here. For the last one, I actually brought my point of aim up a little bit, but as you can see there, plenty shootable as far as the gun itself goes, and it runs pretty quick.
Or
Yeah, use your dot. Just aimed in at it. Use the dot.
it's not zero though. That's the problem.
Manage your height over bore though at this distance.
All right.
You're almost going to be
Shooter ready?
dot
Yep.
on B at his
Stand
neck.
by. 1.16 splits. Shooter ready?
Yep.
114. That one was faster. Shooter ready?
Yep.
106. That's your fastest one of the three. I went the other direction. Go ahead and look at the time. You've got one C-zone out. So one of the things about these Centurions is these things are incredibly flat shooting guns. They do a really good job with the gassing. I actually ended up opening up the port on this gun for him. So I think they advertised a .077. It was not that, and it was having a little bit of gassing issues when we first got it, but I ended up opening his port up to what they said it was. So it's actually what Centurion claims at this point, but yeah, I'll leave the shooter though. All right, so you guys are going to be seeing this in a bit backwards of an order. This is going to play first, and then Ali's gun is going to play second. Whenever you hear me speaking after Ali's video, I didn't realize it, but he was actually some of the brass was hitting him, so it looks a little bit more erratic. So I'm going to redo mine, and it'll play first, and then you'll see Ali's after that. But just to give you guys a general idea of exactly where these are hitting, I've got 5 rounds loaded in the gun right now, so you'll be able to see where all 5 rounds are going, as well as the bolt locking to the rear. Ali is running a blue Springco with an H3 buffer in mine. I am running a T1 and the BCM, their Mk2 buffer system, which is very similar to the actual A5. So I've got a mark right here on the ground. Ali shot from the exact same mark on the ground at the exact same target. And what I'm going to try to do is give you guys an idea of exactly where it is the brass is landing. So Ali, you want to go ahead and get out of the way so you're not, so the brass isn't hitting you. All right, ready?
Ready? On you.
All right, you got a lock back?
Yep, lock back.
Lock back, so yours ended up being
Right here.
right here.
This is you.
Yeah, so yeah, it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ready?
Yep.
On you.
All right.
Yeah, so we are quite literally, I'm a little bit more to the rear than he is. So his brass landed in a nice pile right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So mine are a little bit more back. So all these landed in a pile right here. So you can see those guys on the ground. Mine went a little bit further back. So I'm getting a little bit more distance in my travel than you are.
Yeah.
So if you guys know what the deal is with that, you can go ahead and let me know. I might be getting a little bit more bolt velocity than he is in his gun. That blue Springco might be slowing him down just a tad more. A lot of guys are going to be saying, why don't you guys just run the same recoil mitigate or same lower as the one versus the other? The BCM 14.5, that upper is designed to be run with the Mark 1 buffer system. So that is why they're not being run on the same lower before you ask. And also the setup that he has got for his, that is how he plans on running that anyways. And it's a built versus bought episode. So we're going to be running the guns how they are built and how they are bought. All right, guys. So first and foremost, we're going to go over each of the individual builds that we've got here in this series. Both of these guns, mine having been completely built from the factory by BCM with just a couple of additions that I've put on it, and then Ali's rifle over here having been built completely by me for him, ground up front to back. So we'll go over mine first, give you an idea of exactly what it is you're going to be looking at throughout the series for this. This is a BCM 14.5. I have dubbed it the Mark II Raider, even though that's not officially the name that BCM has given for this particular rifle. A couple of the differences that are on my gun versus what it actually came from the factory is, one, I ended up swapping out the trigger. The trigger that comes in the BCM is a good trigger, but it's their PNT style trigger. It's more or less it feels like an ALG if I had to equate it to something, one of the ALG ACT triggers. And then I also put a different charging handle in it versus what comes from the factory. But this is a BCM gunfighter charging handle as well, so it is still maintaining that. The stock is also different. I prefer the DTPR over the stock that comes with them. Not that there's anything wrong with the BCM stock. It's just that for my style of shooting, this is what I personally prefer. And then I also changed the grip out just because I wanted to match the aesthetics of the build with the FDE. Starting from the front on this rifle, I've got a 4 Systems Monarch Recce mounted on the front here, just using a Reardon Plan B mount with a Revival Defense 3-prong flash hider underneath that. Now the rifle itself, this is using their enhanced medium weight barrel. So this is more or less, it's very SOCOM-ish in its profile, but it's a continuous taper from the chamber down to the bore. It's going to start out at a thicker profile up here, being probably around an 850, and then it tapers down to a 750 at the gas block, and then it's got a pretty steep step where it goes down to a 625 going out to the bore for about the last 2 or so inches of the barrel. The gas block that's in here, of course, everything on this is a complete BCM. It's just a standard BCM block, mid-length tube, everything on that. I've got the Raider rail. So this is the 13-inch BCM Raider rail with the Mk2 upper receiver. And then it's got a BCM bolt carrier group and then a complete BCM lower as well. Optics that I've got on this is a Trijicon Credo 1:8 and a Warren 34mm mount. It's a 20 MOA cant on this mount with a LaRue LT788 and a Holosun. This is their 507 XC1, so it's the RMR footprint for the dot there. I like the solar panel, everything's on this. The battery's a bit easier to change. I ain't got to disassemble everything like I would with an RMR, so that's pretty much the reason why I ended up going with that. But other than that, guys, it's a pretty simple rifle. Both of us have an arc rail attached down here on the bottom of our rifles as well, and then a Surefire DFT scout light for the weapon light on this. So we'll go ahead and we'll give it over to Ali.
All right, so this is pretty much a hodgepodge of different parts. So starting from the tip right here, we got a Surefire RC2 Mini, and the muzzle device is a 4-prong. The barrel itself is a 14.5 Centurion SOCOM profile, and the handguard, I got the Geissele Mark 8. The upper is a Sons of Liberty, I think it's a mil-spec upper, and for the charging handle, I got the Radiant charging handle, and A-Tiker up top on a Reptilia mount. Got the Acro red dot piggy mount, and the FCD safety. I got the Geissele SDE for the trigger, and the lower is the Griffin Armament Mark II ambi lower, just standard stuff. The stock, I'm running the same stock as he is. I just like the stock more. It's better for like the type of shooting that we do, gas guns and stuff like that. Other than that, everything.
Yeah, and I didn't mention it on mine, but I'm running the BCM Mark II buffer, so this is basically an A5 buffer system. He is running a standard carbine buffer with a blue sprinkle and an H3.
Correct.
This rifle, I actually built for him. And one of the things I do want to add is Centurion says that their gas ports are 077 from the factory. I did drill this gas port out for him. It was not a 077, but I did open it up to a 077 for him, and we have not had any issues from there. I just don't know if there was just a fluke or there was a mistake made from the factory when this one was actually drilled out and sent. But that is just something of note. That is a modification that we have done to this gun. Nothing has been done to this one to actually change anything out as far as the porting or anything goes. It's not a knock on Centurion. Shit happens, but just for y'all's essay, we did open that up to what they say that the port size actually is for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to end up going over to the 100-yard line, and we're going to run a battery of tests between these two guns. We're going to do accuracy between the two, so we're going to be running the actual Lake City M193 ball, so we'll be running a 10-round group with that. We'll be also running a 10-round group with 77 grain OTMs. Do you have HSLs that you're running?
HSLs, right.
Yep, so we're both going to be running the exact same ammunition, the 77 grain HSLs, and then we are also going to do a rail flex test. So I know this is something that you guys have been patiently waiting to see on this Mark II Raider here. So we're going to do it with both this gun as well as that one. The control group is going to be the first 10-round group that we shoot with the HSLs, and then we will move right into the loading test for the bipods themselves. We will have a camera mounted to the tripod, so you guys can actually see in real time exactly what it is both of these guns are doing and see what, if any, the point of impact shift for both of these rifles is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so how we're gonna work this, I've got 10 rounds of 77s in the first part of the magazine, and then I've got 10 rounds of M193 in the second half of the magazine. So we're gonna shoot the top left pasty is gonna be mine. I'm gonna shoot the match ammo. I'm gonna go right one pasty, and I'm gonna shoot ball, and then we'll have Ali come over here and switch, and I'll shoot the road just beneath mine. So I gotta come down 1 minute because I'm 0 for 50, not 100. All right. All right, that's match ammo. So now we're gonna go ball ammo. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset this. My average was 26.18 for the match. 23 SD. All right, we're gonna go ball now. This is M193. Oh, that's cooking too. Let's see. My average was 31.38 out of a 14.5-inch barrel. I had one. My max was 3,200 feet per second, and my minimum was 3,107. So about 100 foot per second spread. But it's fucking cooking. All right, we'll go ahead and get Ali on the gun next. We'll let him shoot the row of paces below, get an idea of what the built is doing versus the bot. All right, we had some technical difficulties because Ali's a retard, I can't count.
1, 2,
So
5.
we're gonna redo his. So just know that there are some pasties on the Centurion's part. But if I don't do that, then it's gonna be said that it was an unfair test. So we let the gun cool down, so he should be good to go. All right, you ready?
All right, for real this
Fire
time.
up. Hold on. So, all right, spotter's up on you, Ali.
All right. One, two.
Got another blown primer.
That was the 9th one. This is the last one for HSL.
Lock it back.
All right.
On.
Same spot. Same exact fucking spot.
Yep, so this is one of the things that you're gonna run into with a tapered bore. is this is a possibility that you can get hot rounds. Go ahead and throw that back in the mag. Go ahead and stick it in. So they actually crimp ball ammo, like M193, they crimp the primer pockets, so this doesn't happen. All right, fire that last one. This is
the last HSL round. All right.
All right, so you were 2,700 was your average with an SD of 19. So we'll go ahead, we'll reset it. All right, so this is going to be the M193 ball. So go ahead and go to that right, second pasty from the left.
Got it.
Get an M193 ball. All right, so your SD was 21.5, actually a really good SD. Your average was 31.51. So your average was just a hair above mine. I think it'll be written on mine, but I want to say it was like 31.11, I think.
Right.
So again, a hair faster, I think. Your HSLs were definitely faster.
Yeah.
than the, let's see that. So the HSLs were definitely faster out of the Centurion. That's due to the tapered bore that Centurion barrels have. They tend to shoot just a smidge faster than what you're going to get out of something like the BCM or other similar barrels. But as you can see here, he actually ended up having a blown primer because it does actually increase the pressure just a little bit. And it's very hot today. What do you think it is? About 95 degrees?
Just about, yeah.
About 95, 100 degrees right now. So what we're gonna do next is we'll go ahead and we'll throw the bipod back on the other gun, and we're gonna do the bipod load test. All right, now we're gonna do the bipod loaded test. So my first group is going to be the control for this gun. So the second one is going to be the third pasty from the left. We're going to do a moderate load on the bipod, and I'm gonna just aim pretty much center of that pasty and see if there's a shift, if any at all. All right, now I'm going to do pretty heavy. I'm going to really dig into this thing, and I'm going to put a ton of forward pressure into this gun and see if there's any shift. All right. Can't tell from here through the optic what it did. A spotter, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. All right, now we're gonna do the Centurion with the Geissele rail. So again, God, this glass is clear, holy fuck. This is what you get to work with? All right, so we're gonna do same thing, 5 moderate, 5 heavy. All right, now we're gonna do, I'm gonna really dig into it, put a lot of more pressure into it now. Same point of aim, just on one pasty over. Okay, I can see that. That's like a fucking 4 inches low. All right, let's go ahead and go down there and take a look at these. All right, guys, so these are going to be the results between these two different guns. The Centurion itself actually did not perform as good as it has in the past. And I want to go ahead and start off when you look at these groups and know that we have shot this ammunition through this gun in cooler temperatures. It is a new ammunition that we're trying, and we don't have a whole lot of data on it yet. In cooler temperatures, this gun has shot this ammo really well. In the warmer temperature, it's in the 90s now. He had a couple of pop primers, and the group opened way up. That can be a whole host of different things. It can be the ammunition itself, the powder that they're using in it. The gun, it just may not sit well with the gun. So that is why one of the things that is important for you as the individual to actually get good data points. Now, we do not reshoot groups. I did let him shoot a second group today just so we can have that data point, just in case it was something with him. But the second 10-round group that we shot with this ammunition, it did pretty much the exact same thing. But noting in the past, he's done AAC with this, and 10-round groups with AAC out of this gun have shot about an inch and a half. So it's not a knock on the barrel itself. So when you see this, just understand that's what we've got going on here. But I want to go ahead and start with the BCM's group. So this gun actually happens to really like this ammunition, and that's good for me and not Ali, because this ammunition is about the same cost as AAC. But that is something that I have noticed, that it is not the powder itself. It's not been as consistent as it has with the AAC. So starting over here from this side, this is the 10-round group, and I'll actually have different annotations of the groups itself. And this gun ended up shooting this ammunition, and this will all be annotated on the screen, at 1.33 MOA for a 10-shot group. These groups were all shot at 100 yards. If you notice that the mean center of my group is just at the top edge of this pasty, so keep that in mind whenever you're looking at this for the bipod rail flex, for the difference in deflection that we actually managed to snag with this. Moving on over to my M193 ball group. So I was shooting this in the low mid 3100s, and this group ended up printing to be about 3.14 MOA out of my gun. So again, a pretty good showing for M193 ball out of the BCM here as well. Now, the rail flex test. This is something that everybody has been wanting to see out of this rifle. So for this first group here, you'll notice that I did a moderate amount of flex for the rail, and the mean center of my group realistically didn't have much, if any, shift to it. We're looking at 0.38 high, where the first grade was 0.41 high. So we're looking at under one click in the optics of adjustments for the shift. And then coming on over to here, we are 0.59 low from the center of the group. So there was about there's exactly 1 minute of shift that this gun ended up having, with a good bit of flex being imparted into the rail. I had done this test before with the MCMR. It's worth noting I did shoot ball ammo with that, not match ammunition. So part of the reason that we didn't see much of any shift with that rail itself, it could have been the ammunition. But I wanted to be as transparent as I could with this rifle and let you guys see exactly how it was performing. And for these particular battery of tests, I wanted to be use a bit more accurate of an ammunition for the test itself, so we can get an even better idea of exactly what it is the flex is doing. But this is still an extremely good performance out of this rail. So this gun is performing incredibly well. And again, guys, I was sent this rifle for free, but I want to let you know I'm going to be as transparent as possible with this thing. I'm not going to say nice things about it or bad things about it based off getting the gun for free. I'm going to show you exactly how it performed, and you'll get to see it with me. It's the first time I've done a rail flex with this, so I had no idea how that rifle would perform. Moving on over to the Centurion. Now, again, like I said, guys, this did not perform as this gun has in the past with match ammunition. AAC, we've gotten this type of performance with AAC. Now, AAC has stopped production. Very unfortunate, but we're trying different types of ammunition. And again, I think it was like high 40s, mid high 40s whenever we had tested this before, and this gun was grouping about 1.5 MOA. So today, with the hotter temperatures, the powder, it just didn't sit right with this gun. This gun is going to get featured a bunch throughout this series. This isn't the only episode that these rifles are going to have together, and throughout the year we will update how the rifles perform, and Ollie will just be looking for a different type of ammunition. So the next time they come out here, it'll have a different ammo with it, and that we'll be able to try through it to give you guys an idea of what kind of accuracy we're actually getting out of the gun. So this gun ended up printing a 3.4 MOA group out of this ammunition, which again is abysmal for what this gun can actually do. I don't want the Centurion guys like before when I said something bad about Centurion, coming into the comments and blasting me, talking about, oh, well, you just hate Centurion. No, guys, I love this manufacturer, and this gun has been a tack driver the entire time he's owned it. It just happened to not like this ammunition. Moving on over to the ball ammunition. Again, this gun isn't zeroed for this ammo, so you're going to have a bit of a shift with it. The ball ammo actually shot a better group than the match ammo did. So we got a 3.07 MOA group out of the ball ammunition out of this rifle. And again, this is why I want to preface that this gun just didn't like that particular type of match ammunition. Now, the rail flex test. This is something that, in my experience, Geissele's have been notorious for it, and that is having a metric fuck ton of rail flex. My URGI upper that I've got, it does the exact same thing. All of the Geissele's that we've ever run has done the exact same thing. We've got another complete Geissele that's going to be coming out as well, in case the Geissele fanboys want to talk about how it's not a complete Geissele, so it's not a fair one-to-one. It'll do the exact same thing. It's not necessarily having anything to do with the upper receiver or the barrel. It's just more or less the type of lockup that they've got inside these guns. So the first rail flex, again, this is the same point of aim. You notice the point of impact was pretty much zeroed on here. The rail flex test for a moderate loading shifted the group down a pretty significant amount. So from the mean center, it was 3.36 inches low from the mean center. So you're looking at basically it's basically 3.5 MOA shift down with a moderate load, and then moving on over to loading it heavily, it was pretty much the same spot. So that's one of the things about this, is it at least was consistent. You'll see this group up here. This is the second group that he shot with that ammunition to try and get a bit of redemption out of it, and it did pretty much the exact same thing. But yeah, guys, those are the results that we've got out of them so far. Next time we come out and we show these rifles, there's going to be another accuracy comparison between the two. It is worth noting that this barrel, at this point, he has about 5,000 rounds on this gun, majority of that being match ammunition. The BCM, I'm pushing right at 1,000 at this point out of this rifle, so he's got 5 times the amount of ammunition, but 5,000 out of a Centurion barrel, that's not really anything too terrible with it. But yeah, those are the results, guys. The BCM, it was fairly impressive. It did really well today. The Centurion, it'll get a bit of a redemption next time we're back on the channel. We'll find a different ammunition. So I know that's going to be said in the comment section, but you know, it is what it is. We bring the results to you guys how they come to us. We don't reshoot groups, we don't cherry pick groups on the channel. How it shoots is how it shoots. All right, guys, so Ali wanted to get some redemption here, so we put some AACs into his gun, and those shot significantly better than what the HSLs did. So it's about, I'd say,
Where's your book?
it's on the table over here. So this is his group right here. So end to end, it's about 1.75 inches, about 1.75 inches. And of course, we couldn't just let him get away with getting to do a reshoot, so we reshot mine with AACs as well, and pow! A fucking BCM is insane, man. Goddamn. It's actually about the same size group, a little bit smaller. It's about 3.5, or 1.5 rather.
That was a flyer.
Yeah, well, I don't count flyers. Flyers aren't flyers. My shooting was perfect here. I felt comfortable with every single shot that I took. So that wasn't a flyer. That's just where it ended up. So not a lot better, and they're actually pretty comparable. Again, let's look at this real quick. So I want to, oh, that's the wrong side. Those are non-freedom units. So we're looking at about 1 inch, 1.8. Yeah, about 1.8 and about 1.6. Sorry, the camera's not in the right spot. 1.4. So 1.4 and 1.8. So again, performed really well. That's still a little bit on the bigger side from what my boy here has done with that rifle. But again, we don't reshoot groups. But a good bit of a redemption from what that AAC or the HSLs were doing out of his. Mine actually like the AACs better than the HSLs as well. I'll actually take pictures of the groups and annotate it so you guys can see exactly what it did based off of the Range Buddy app to actually get measurements. But both of those were really good groups out of those guns. Again, I see a lot of people talking about how, oh, my gun shoots, it's a half MOA gun all day. And I am yet to see somebody actually be able to prove that in person out of a gas gun. I've had lots of people say it. Nobody can ever actually come out here and plug a 10-shot group like that. 1.5 MOA is realistically what we see out of these guns. And even yours is a proof URX3.
Yep.
So he's a proof carbon barrel out of his, and his is shooting about 1.5 MOA with the ACs as well. So, I mean, and that's one of the best barrels out there that people tout as being one of the most accurate barrels out there. So 1.5 MOA is plenty respectable for what these guns are doing. We're going to have these we're going to show these off a lot more throughout the year, so you'll be getting a lot of episodes between these two guns. This was more of the technical side of things. So the way that we're going to actually work this video is just going to show like the core accuracy, the way the rail flexes, everything works. And throughout the rest of the year, it's going to be more or less reliability, as well as shootability, and then the way that these things perform in different scenarios and different, we're going to be going to several different matches with them. We're going to be going to the Serengeti match down in Vero Beach. So we're actually shooting that one in July. So if you guys are in the Florida area and you want to come out and shoot a match, it's called Shootout at the Serengeti is what the match is called. We're going to be doing that one. I think it's July 5th. If it's not, I'll annotate the actual date for that match in there. You can find it on Practice Score. It's like $85 to go shoot the match. And the gentleman that puts it on, Abel, great guy, does a really good job putting these matches together. But this is really going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments, drop them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. That was a hit. Second one was a hit too. What's the time?
Time 30:83.
Four rounds here.
Gotcha.
Hit! 46-51. Hit! 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 Hit!
26.
Hit! Hit! You're on the third one, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
I saw a flash.
Hit! 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 Hit!
Come on, bitch.
Hit!
There we go.
Time 41 even.
What happened on that last one? Did those have flashers?
Yes.
Stand by.
That's right.
Hit! Hit! That's a hit. Flasher's on it still. It did knock it off.
4202. I don't know why the flasher didn't go off because you got a hit on that first round.
I might have hit the post. Stand by.
Off right. Hit! 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 Get low, get low.
Oh, yeah.
Hit! Hit!
34 or 3604. I think you beat my time.
Yeah, yours was
I gave you a win
4202. Yeah. Yeah, you
win
did.
call.
Yeah, you did.
He was still off right on the first couple rounds.
I know, it picked up even more. I mean, you can't feel it right here because I've got this pocket. So it's hard to feel it right here.
Yeah, this is deceptive.
There's about a 10-foot berm on this side that ends about where that ditch line is at right there. So like this spot right here, you can't